He makes comebacks like in that previous game one we saw against Mio Micah. It was not an easy one for him to pull that one back. I guarantee you, like, you get your first tank push ruined like that, and then your opponent counterattacks. Like, there's that moment where he's running those Marines up those ramps. It was a tough spot, but that's what HuT thrives on. Under pressure, in the chaos, he can dig deep and really pull out his best play, and that's what he's going to need here. Going into the grand finals, it's a best of 5. Sif HuT up against Sif Seither.
Oh, baby. Acid Plant is going to be our first battlefield here between these two Terran gods of the Australian region.
Acid
and
Planet.
Let's get into it. Acid Planet, that's right. Thank you, Tasteless.
I got you.
And the top left here from SYF, one of the 2 SYF players in this series. This is HuT.
And down here in the bottom right-hand side, in the blue, the Terran player, he is Seither.
SYF very, very happy, of course, with this bracket, getting themselves both their scariest players going through in the end here. There was a lot of SYF players in this bracket. Crimson was in there as well. And, I mean, Seither and HuT really flying the flag for their team and repping it, both going overseas, all expenses paid. I'm not sure if Legacy will be sending Probe and NXZ anyway. They might, because they, you know, they're a pretty powerful team with a good financial backing, so that'd be pretty cool to see. I think that even if they, so. You know, Probe got his own way into Austin and managed to, you know, get through one stage of groups, get into group stage 3.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully the players will still be making their way down there, and it's really cool to see SYF doing so well, because I think a lot of people think about, you know, pro esports and pro anything, and they think a lot about the natural talent side, but I think there's so much about infrastructure, about community, about, you know, helping out with practice partners, having a good environment, and all that sort of stuff, and the hard work that goes into it. And I think that all kind of correlates together, and you can see it with how well the SIF players are doing, right? You've got these players who are performing so well, because check it out, hey, last 2 months ago, whenever it was at IEM Sydney, every time one of their players won a match or anything was going on, like, all of the other players were running on stage to cheer for them. They're all like giving each other advice, helping each other out. There's such a strong, real kind of old school team sense around SYF, where they do all support each other.
Bunch of lads. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's that support environment, and that's why I just always, it's hard not to cheer for them, because you know they care so much about the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of reminds me of like the TA days where, you know, the guys just were so close knit. It was like a brotherhood, and they really loved seeing one of their own players do anything. They just rush on stage and go for that mass group hug, like lifting the guy up above their heads. It's really cool to see. We actually have a SCV's being pulled out of the gas here for Seither, so he's going for that, you know, you get a bit more mineral income, pull out that gas income. You managed to get your Hellion and even a Cyclone out of the factory and get a faster command center as a result. So I like this opening for Seither.
Yeah.
Reaper's alive as well.
He has delayed his starport a lot off it as well this time around. So unlike the kind of fast Raven opening, he's going to be doing it this way. Seither is going to have a bit of a skirmish to build the map. Ooh, I think HuT's got the better end of it.
Yeah, he certainly has. Seither losing both Reapers here, and he kind of just has to send the Hellion to its death. There's not really any way for it to, I mean, if he lets it run and hide, then it'll run and hide, but...
Nice little attempt. I think it will get out of there, but heavy bruising and nice little bit of momentum there too. HuT in this early game, he's already got a Cyclone coming out, his own Raven on the way. HuT going for a much later command center though. It's a very kind of tech heavy one base opening for HuT. Seither's already got that expansion finishing, and he's going the old, a little bit old school. This kind of has fallen out of favor in high level play. The triple or even 4 or 5 Cyclone opening.
Nice pick off there for HuT, delaying that command center a little bit more, as his command center is quite a bit later than Seither's.
Yeah, that's a nice little way to help equalize it. Very fast, the gas goes down in the natural for HuT. HuT's going to play mech.
Yeah, certainly looks like it. And
That's
Seither
awesome.
does see this with his Hellion, so that's a good scout for him as well. And
yeah.
Seither with his Cyclone opening, he could go into mech as well, or just put on some pressure with a heavy Cyclone count. But it kind of looks like he wants to go towards a bio transition here, judging by his production. And there's that stim, yeah.
Nice fast tank for HuT. So for a second I was like, dude, you gotta put down a bunker, you gotta put down a bunker. And then I was like, oh no, he's got a siege tank, it's okay. I wouldn't put your siege tank too far forward if I was HuT though. You do have to be careful. as this 3 Cyclones could very easily become 5, and indeed it's about to become 5. So, I mean, Seither's going to commit to the front with that. 100%. If you go 5 Cyclones, you're going to poke the front, but ooh, already gets bruised quite badly from that siege tank shot. So that's a nice start to the defense for HuT, and HuT already building Vikings, more tanks, and really building up into this very nice setup. You know what? With the fast third gas, you can get a really, really sick air push with this. You get like 4 Vikings, maybe even a Liberator in the mix. You've already got the Raven up. Go with 3 siege tanks. This could be super cool if he decides to kind of just siege in, use that air vision.
It looked like HuT was going mech with that really quick, like instant third gas before he got that natural up, but he's actually getting stim.
Yeah. Ooh, and a Liberator does queue up. So yeah, so it's going to be this super technical air push. Wow, this is such a rare play these days, but something we don't see that much, so players aren't really as used to it. With the Raven there, ready to throw down Interference Matrix, Cyclones aren't that good at shutting this down. So this could work out very nicely. 5 Cyclones, though. And Stim almost ready. If Seither sees this coming and jumps on it, it could definitely be very good for him.
I like this high ground position with these Cyclones to get a bunch of free damage if he just goes a little bit too far forward and doesn't react quickly. That Cyclone is in trouble. Oop, pulls back. Big reaction there from HuT. A bit of a weird siege up just to make sure that his Cyclone doesn't get picked off, I guess, but Seither has no reason to come down there and chase. You just chill.
This fast third gas investment from HuT completely shut down. He's achieved nothing with it. You know, this is just such a good use of these Cyclones to maintain map control. He kept some of them as well as Marines at home for a little while. And was able to kind of keep this map presence, and that's just so crazy to me. Oh, was that the Raven?
He got a Liberator.
Oh, very nice.
Nice presence here with Seither. This kind of feels like we're watching Mari versus Classic here, where Mari had all that Cyclone presence on the map, even though it was against a Protoss, not a Terran. He just had those Cyclones rolling around, chasing and catching Oracles and stuff like that. Pretty sick that he's being so active and effectively active with those Cyclones.
Seither's always getting ahead in these games, always, against HuT. And what's really making me scratch my kind of face, I'm scratching my beard right now, or lack thereof, and I'm kind of going, what is he doing so much better in these early games? And it's not a massive lead, but he's always establishing a small yet very concrete lead in these games, same as the previous series. And a lot of it is about his scouting. It's that Hellion you pointed out earlier that got in and saw everything, saw there was no threat of a Banshee. We've seen HuT have to play a lot safer in these games, building safety Ravens, building siege tanks, sitting at home. Meanwhile, Seither has often just been very naked to harassment because he's been so good at ruling out what isn't coming and actually identifying exactly what HuT's doing. So Seither's cutting more corners. He's getting up, faster production, faster upgrades, these sort of things very continually. And we see his SCV count's always just a little bit ahead of HuT. Has HuT just walked to his command center with that tank? Not sure.
I think it should be okay.
Nice.
Nice. So, I completely agree with you there. Like, there has been a harassment attempts from HuT. Like, there was a Liberator attempt to get across the map, but Seither just caught it in the middle of the map. So he's been getting away with cutting all these corners, which is really why the best players in the world just seem to have more stuff than the other player, even though they're not getting supply block and they're macroing pretty flawlessly. It's just because they're getting away with these corner cuts.
Yeah, identifying exactly what they need, what they don't need. And really, that's what strategy games are all about, right? It's about driving towards exactly what you want, discarding and disregarding everything you don't need. You don't need to bother investing in, right? It's about making those tiny adjustments. And Seither's a master of it, already establishing a 20 supply lead in this game, and yet there's been so little interaction between the players.
It feels like the natural's a little wide open here for HuT.
Oh!
Get out of there! Yeah, quick reaction there from Seither, pulls back away from those Vikings.
Very, very good save there by Seither. Could have gone very wrong. That lead could have disappeared instantly.
Seither really forcing his presence out in the map here by rallying into new, fresh medevacs, sending in tanks and Marines across the map, boosting immediately. Just trying to keep the pressure on this third base of HuT. He has a bowl of Cyclones on the right-hand side as well. HuT's trying to move his army around. These Cyclones are going to see it. Well, are they not? No, they're not, actually.
Yeah, it's just some good positioning here by Seither, but these Cyclones, they're a very good counterattack force. I think HuT's about to trap him now. Ooh!
Oh, wow.
He's going to lose a few siege tanks.
Yeah. Loses these 5 Cyclones, but... Oh, a third siege tank? Wow.
Dude, that's well worth it. And he dives! He dives on the left at the same time. Oh, Seither is just so decisive. Uses that map control so patiently and just waits for his moment. doesn't try to force the issue. He waits for HuT to step onto the map and instantly backstabs him. Beautiful play here. The interference matrix comes in for HuT, but his Marines aren't all there. He's already lost so many units. Interference matrix wears off. Seither holds the position.
Oh my God.
The third is denied.
Seither is almost up double the army supply here, while being very safe with 4 bases finishing up from the other side of the map. His upgrades are looking ahead. His economy is ahead. His army is way bigger. And he is making it impossible for HuT to take this third right now. He has to float it to the top right. All this time, there's a third CC not being mining for HuT. He has a lot of SCVs, long distance mining here. And Seither even is going to try and catch this third with a bowl of units on the right-hand side, ready to stim in and bully him again.
There we go. Marines coming in from both sides. Marines and tanks all engaging on each other. And HuT has to tap out. Yet again, another very clean victory for Seither. Looking unparalleled so far. Yesterday, he didn't even have to play because he was already the #1 seed. Today, I mean, how many maps has Seither even dropped today? I'm opening up the bracket right now to take a look at that because I feel like he hasn't dropped a single one. And yeah, he hasn't. Oh my Lord. He's too good. He's too good.
So basically 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, then had a break, probably had some lunch, maybe played a bit of ladder and watched a couple episodes of his favorite show, and then logged back in for the grand final, and he's on match point. He could potentially clean sweep this entire day.
He watched some K-pop, queued up some Counter-Strike games, maybe some Overwatch, showing his true vibes, getting his skill going. And honestly, I mean, he hasn't even he's avoided Probe as well, and that's a match we always look forward to is Seither and Probe. But it hasn't happened.
I expected to see the Probe final, like, even though it's a very basic thing to predict, just because Probe and Seither have faced each other so many times in these WCS Grand Finals. But our boy HuT, Mr. Upsets,
yeah,
came through and just ruined everything.
I think he's got to do something different, though. He's got to cut a corner, or he's got to play more wildly aggressive, or do something different here, because HuT's playing very standard here, and normally HuT doesn't play that standard. Yeah, this tournament he's played more standard than we're used to seeing from HuT, but I feel like he's playing a little bit too generic, and Seither's outclassing it a little bit. He's got to start to mix the game up a little bit more, find a way to bring it more into his control, because these games have looked just too straightforward for Seither. That was very similar to the first series. He gets an advantage, he kind of postures around aggressively a little bit, and eventually there's an opening. He just jumps on it, and it feels like just with a click of your fingers, the game's over.
Yeah, he looks so dominant. It looks very scary. It's like one of those games that end, and you're like, oh my God, there is a large gap between these two players. Like you kind of feel bad for the other guy. I know that's not the case. I know HuT can win a map and therefore win the series, but to consistently win against a guy like Seither is a tough ask, to say the least. It's not easy. The skills are there, but the lack of mistakes from Seither is pretty huge.
Yeah, I beat Seither. I think it was like 3-0 or something the last time I played him at LAN. That's why I'm never signing up for a LAN tournament that has Seither in it again, because that was the luckiest, cheesiest games I've ever played in my life, and it will never happen again. And I was lucky to make it happen a few years ago when I was still practicing hard. He is so hard to stop when he is in his element. And that's exactly why you see quite a few players try to cheese him out. But even that's difficult, because he's a lot like these Korean players, where it's just like, oh, I'll try to throw him out of his element, and he just kind of kills you with his standard play or his standard reaction. Seither is really good, and he is one game away from going through as the completely unmatched 0 games lost champion of WCS ANZ.
And in the bottom left, it is the man in question, currently on match point with a 2-0 lead in this series. This is SYF Seither.
Can get that scoreboard fixed up. And up here in the top right-hand side, in the blue, the Terran player. It is SYF's HuT.
Certainly is. I remember when Seither, like when I first recognized Seither, oh, this is a fast SCV from HuT. He's going to proxy.
That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Oh, do you think this is a mineral one, right? Or yeah, no. Okay, he's going for a gas. Okay, it is Reapers. Yeah. Or maybe. Oh, actually, right. You know what? There's like a Marauder one as well, right? 2 barracks Marauder. That's like an old thing.
There is a Marauder rush with a concussive shell, but I think that'll be a little bit tough.
Double 15 racks. He's cut SCVs for it. I like it. Real big commitment here from HuT.
Well, it's his last chance. Let's get an extra couple
Oh.
$100.
Oh my god, look at this SCV leaving the base. You're kidding me. Teammates.
Oh, get the hell out of here.
Teammates.
Yeah, this is...
Oh, he changed the... But, oh, it's still
He's going to see it. I saw the shift key here. He's going to see it. Yeah. Hello.
Oh,
Okay.
Hunt's like, really? You queued that
He's already
up?
speaking Spanish. ¿Qué pasa?
He's, oh man, see with the smiley face. He's feeling good right now. He's like, you know what?
Someone's really good at StarCraft.
He's like, come on, you can't beat me in a straight up game. I know what you're gonna do now. I know what you've got to do. There's only one way you're winning this series, and that's cheesing me out. And look at this, he even builds this factory to wall off his high ground so the Reapers can't jump in there. Oh, see, they're so well prepared here. Does that fully wall it off? Let's find out.
Nah, you can't fully wall off on Lost and Found. There's also another ledge to the north up there.
I don't think
Like,
the north one works because that's actually got a little purple chasm gap with smoke coming out of it.
Give you a purple chasm gap in a minute.
All right, perfect
I'm
defense
like
so far.
semi-certain that the Reaper could still jump up there, but yeah, no, we'll go with that. But
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's just
got to
up
check it
Seither
out.
basically-
You could be right.
It's just up to Seither now to just get a Hellion up and a couple Reapers, and he's very safe against like 4 or 5 Reapers if he micros well. Reaper of HuT actually going back home, worried about counterattacks, I guess, but he actually isn't committing to this. He actually made a Marine.
There's a
on his
factory
barracks.
proxied up at Seither's third base. I like this
Oh,
move, and
yeah.
the thing is, Seither doesn't have a bunker or a cyclone yet. So, like, as good as the defense has been so far, okay, cyclone does queue up. Seither taking things seriously, as he should. The number of times people think, oh, he knows I've spotted it, he's going to transition, and then the guy just runs in with like 8 Reapers and you die. Definitely not your way a way you want to lose a tournament game. So, does kill one of HuT's Reapers already. HuT doesn't want to lead him to the factory.
Oh, don't lead him down here. Could potentially have stopped that factory if he went down there, but gets away with it. He's making some Marines still here.
Yeah.
And he's getting a siege tank. All right, Techlat going down that factory.
Oh yeah, and a Starfort, my man. This is going to be a siege tank Viking old school transition from this. This is what I love about HuT. He is a smooth sailor when it comes to cheesy waters. You know, he's sailed through the cheesy ocean many times. He knows the different weird transitions, the currents to avoid, the ways to go along and not capsize your cheese. So HuT's going to come in here. The proxy Reaper hasn't worked out. He's swapping into the tank and Viking. The problem is Seither's doing what you do when your opponent builds all their buildings on your side of the map, and that is build a Liberator. And you know what shoots up in HuT's base right now? A whole lot of nothing. If he doesn't send a Marine home, that Liberator's a checkmate maneuver. Marines might catch it. They might catch it.
Oh! Oh my god!
Wow.
Liberator is still alive. And it's going towards his main. And HuT's just got to go, oh, do I bring the Marines home or do I just go for it? I think he's going to go for it.
He sends 2 Marines home. He's got a tank at the front, Marines, Vikings coming out. This is sick. This is sick. There's a siege tank almost out for Seither. It's not going to be out in time. This siege tank has already sieged up, and it's going to be a vision war. There's 2 Vikings building, though, for Seither. He's got the reacted Viking production. He's seen into the future, and he's so ready. Oh, 2 Vikings versus 1. And that's it. Seither's going to be able to break out. Now, keep in mind, Seither is still on 1 base. The big advantage he has is his buildings are inside his base. That's a nice thing to have happen. Also, Liberator's going to kill a few workers here.
Seither reacting very fast there. Oh, Reapers into the base to kill the Marines!
They get rid of those Marines. That Liberator has nothing to fight against it. This is such a sick play.
Oh, he does have an engineering base. We can get a turret up. But the Reaper's being microed very well here from Seither. He's going to lose one of the Reapers here. And the other one's very, very low to going down. The Liberator's coming back home. There's only 1 Marines who have died in the Liberation Zone.
Oh my lord, the Liberator's still up and it can just avoid the missile turret. Beautiful, beautiful. Checkmate.
It's like, ¿por qué no las dos? Yeah, GG, well played. Seither.
What a way. What a way
Seither
for
read him like a book. Oh my god. Dude, Seither remains unchallenged in this bracket. Gets himself a clean sweep of the entire Sunday bracket, not dropping a single map against anyone. And HuT eventually stopped by his teammate. Both of them will be going overseas. We're going to have some double Terran representation from Australia at WCS Valencia. Pretty sick.
Amazing.
Moonglade.
Amazing.
Are you amazed by Seither's greatness as well?
I'm amazed. that was quite the dominant performance this entire tournament and in those finals. Yeah, man, teammates is the name of the game in that second gun. He just knew what HuT could be up to and identified it instantly. So no surprise there, but massive congrats to both of those guys. They both earned it. They're both fantastic players. And man, Seither is just a beast, and he just keeps getting better.
Yeah, it's so good to see him develop. I feel like there was every player has plateaus, right? You improve, you hit a plateau for a while, then you have a big jump in improvement, you plateau for a while. So I feel like Seither has recently hit another improvement peak, right? He's stepping it up. He's getting to that next level. He's gathering up his skills. He's getting more experience overseas. I cannot wait to watch him play in Valencia. I think that's going to be amazing. And you know what? He's going to hopefully make it through that group stage, get a top 16, get a top 8, bring it back to the old days of Moonglade competing when we had some Aussies in the top 8 to cheer for.
Moonglade's just constantly disappointed every season. He's like, where are these top 8s and top 4s that I used to get from representing Australia overseas a lot better than everyone else in the last 6 years of StarCraft.
I would never think or say that. I'm just happy people still get a chance to go over there.
He's like, man, an Australian hasn't qualified for BlizzCon in a long time. It was,
no,
I love you, Moonglade.
I love you too, and it's so cool to see you guys make. Glad we saw the opportunity.
I'm translating. There was a little bit of cut out there, but he says, "I'm glad that they still have the opportunity." I translated it.
Thank you. Am I cutting out again?
It was a little bit. No, you're good now. No.
It's the voice activation every now and then, that always happens. I feel,
Yeah.
Well, if we're going to tie a bow on this broadcast and go about our afternoons, we first of all have to say thank you guys to all of you out there for watching, tweeting, sharing all about WCS ANZ for Oceania. We appreciate all of you and all the eyes and all the love that's been in the chat. It's been a wonderful experience casting all weekend with my brothers here, Moonglade and Pig. We're having a great time, experiencing a lot of great games. Truly is the greatest job in the entire world to commentate for this wonderful region and occasionally abroad as well. And congratulations once again to HuT and Seither, our top 2 finishers, our representations for Oceania, both from Australia, both Terran, both FYF, and both with the ability to really turn heads on the global stage. And a lot of love, especially to McDonald's for supporting the tournament. Those guys, if they weren't here, once again, this would not be possible. So we have to send them love their way, and rightfully so. And also for GameStar putting on a wonderful production, for Insano putting on a wonderful observer for us. He was our 4th caster, providing us the visuals while we provided the audio. So thank you very much, Insano, for a good job.
Like that. Visual caster.
Yeah. That's right. It's the 4th caster. He's the 4th commentator, providing the story for us. And then of course to Blizzard ANZ for, along with McDonald's, supporting our region and providing us these wonderful prize pools and these wonderful tournaments and 2 spots on a plane for these WCS Grand Finals. Boys, any closing thoughts?
Just an absolute honor and a pleasure to be casting with you guys once again. I love doing it every single time. It's always great to get back to it. And can't wait till next time.
Yeah, it's been an amazing little couple of days. I think we've had a lot of great series. Special mention to Risky for fighting hard, getting a top 8 on his first performance down in WCS ANZ. Shout out, of course, to Iagaz for destroying so many Terran players yesterday. I would have loved to see Iagaz versus Seither. We're going to have to wait for next season for that one. And, of course, hopefully we see Probe, NXZ, and a few of these other guys flying over to Valencia. And that's going to be amazing. That'll be the 3rd Circuit Championship. Of course, the challenger for the next one will be for Montreal. It's going to be a couple months away, though. A little bit of a lull between stops while everything heats up. And it should be amazing. So, yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate everyone out there loving StarCraft as much as we do.
All right. And you guys out there, send some love to HuT and to Seither on the social media. And we will see you next time for the next broadcast, next cast, wherever that may happen to be. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. We'll see you for WCS Montreal from the Oceanic region. Until then, enjoy Valencia. Later, y'all.